folks, there we have it. I put the tarp over the ridge pole. I've lashed it to opposing trees. I've got a nice covered area under the front of my lean-to now. It's like I've doubled the size of my lean-to. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to get my fire going, and we'll show you how it draws just fine. It's not going to fill my lean-to full of smoke, and it's going to work out just excellent. Now, if it starts to rain again, at least I could sit in here out of the rain with more space to use. I don't have to be on my bunk. I can go ahead and utilize all this space. And I'm not fighting with the weather on my fire. There's nothing that's more frustrating than trying to keep fire going in the rain. So this helps get rid of that issue. What I used was an 8x10 tarp. So it overlaps about 1.5 feet, 2 feet over the awning of the lean-to. So that gives me about a good 8x8 area out front that I can work underneath. Now this will thaw out pretty quickly in here. All the snow that's here from the last couple weeks will melt out of here pretty quickly. So I'm going to get this fire going, and we'll take it from there. Okay, I'll catch you in just a few seconds. Okay, folks, got a nice fire going here. That's a good fire. I mean, there's a lot of flames here. They're about 18 inches off the ground. This tarp isn't even hot. It's warm to the touch, but it's not hot. It's not going to melt. The whole key to doing this, setting up a tarp like this with a fire below it, is make sure it's well vented. Of course, your two sides are wide open. One end's wide open. Have that end higher than the rest. Now, you probably can't see it in the video, but what smoke there is venting out the back between the awning and the top tarp, and venting out the front. And if it gets real smoky, I had it really smoky for a while there because I put some wet wood on it. And then the smoke is rolling out the sides of the tarp. None of that smoke is getting back into the lean-to at all. I went back in there. It's nice, clean, fresh air. There's no smoke at all. This was all just smoky in here. Nothing back there. It's all venting right out. So that's the way it goes. And the nice thing about it is you can see that the heat is trying to raise the tarp. And like I said, it's just warm to the touch. It's not hot. But when you get under here, it's retaining a lot of heat. It's retaining a lot of heat in this area. So it's going to help melt this whole area out. Not just keep the rain off of me, but it's going to help melt this area out. I'm hoping to dry this out a bit. While I was lighting the fire, I had that camp chair I was using collapse on me. Yep, when you're bushcrafting, build your own chair. Don't count on those camp chairs. So I'm going to have to think of building a bushcraft chair here pretty soon. Otherwise, at this point, I got to sit on the bunk. Unless I want to sit in this slush, this wet snow. But so, there we have it. Now I've got a cover. It's going to rain. I'll stay dry. It's nice and warm in here. And like I said, you get back here towards the lean-to, there's no smoke at all. There's smoke up here, right up at the top, but it's venting. It's getting out of here. So all this area down here is usable space without a lot of smoke. Again, I know a lot of people are going to say, oh no, you can't do that. But here it is. I did it. And like I said, I've done it dozens of times, and I'll be doing it again in the future. One thing to remember, though, is especially this time of year. Now, in the rain, it's not so bad. It'll run off. But if it snows and it freezes, you don't want this tarp up here and not be out here, because the weight will collapse this tarp. So this tarp is for use when you're in the shelter. It's only four lines holding it up. Untie it, roll it up, fold it, put it away in your shelter for the next time you come out. So with that, I'm going to do a little housekeeping around here, and we'll see about what video to do next. This video is turning out rather short, so let's see. Is there something I can add to make the video a little more interesting? Well, let's see. Okay, let's go down this road. Just a little bit of outdoor information, I guess. Little topic. Somebody had asked me. Now you see, they asked me, "Are you going to do a poop in the woods video?" And I said, "Well, I suppose everybody does the poop in the woods videos." And then I thought, well, you know, one thing I haven't seen, it might be out there, but I haven't seen anybody do, how do you poop in the woods in the winter? Well, let's talk about that real quick. One thing you want to do when you have a winter camp like this is really keep in mind where your latrine's going to be. Now, if you're going to poop in the woods in the winter, you don't have the luxury of digging a trench in the ground and covering it. You don't have the foliage. You don't have, there's a lot of things that affect how you would poop in the woods in the winter. What you do is you find yourself a location a good distance from your camp, and you find yourself a deadfall, a nice large rotten dead log that you can handle. Lean it up against a tree somewhere. Find yourself a nice tree somewhere. What I like to do is find a pine tree that's got a lot of cover. Set it up under that pine tree, and what you do is you stomp down the snow and you make yourself a nice area. One thing that's nice is try to find a spot that you can pound down that's got a nice sapling on the edge of it. Now, when you poop in the woods in the middle of the winter, it's 10, 20 below zero, it's going to freeze. So what you want to do is knock that snow down in a half-moon area around like a sapling, and designate and know where you're going to be pooping in that half-moon area. As you poop in a row. Use that sapling to hang on to. Nothing worse than pooping at 10 below and then losing your balance and sitting down in a sub-zero snowbank. When you're done with your trip, you take that deadfall piece of wood you found, set it on top of that waste, and push it down as solid as you can. Kick snow over it. In the spring, that's going to break down. Now, the thing is a lot of people say, well, you can just go poop here and poop there and poop here and poop there. It's in the middle of the winter. It doesn't matter so much because it freezes. Well, it does come thaw. In the spring, you're going to use that campsite again, and the next thing you know, you've got poop spots all around your camp that show up in the spring that you didn't notice all winter because they were under the snow. So keep in mind that when you poop in the woods in the winter, find yourself a designated location, create a snow latrine, and a good large log that you can lay over the waste when you're done and bury it, so that you don't have to deal with that in the spring. You don't have the critters in the winter that you do during the spring and summer and fall that would want to come to that waste pile and mess with it. So you don't have to cover it as soon as you would in other times of the year. Now for peeing, I've seen so many videos. People say, "Well, you pee anywhere you want. You know, a guy can go pee anywhere he wants. You just go out and pee wherever you want." I totally disagree. Pick a location that you're going to use regularly, and make it a distance from your camp, not right around the back of your shelter. Same with the ladies. Now the ladies, when they have to use the restroom, a lot of times they'll use paper. If you're using paper when you go pee, take a Ziploc bag with you, bring the paper back into camp, burn it in your fire pit, or just keep putting it in that Ziploc bag and pack it out with you. Do not leave that paper on the ground. There's no reason for it. And it's surprising how long that paper lasts. So you'd be surprised. It shows up. Once the snow melts, all of a sudden you see white spots all over the place, but all the snow's gone, and it's because there's paper all over the woods because people were using it when they were using the latrine. So keep in mind, pooping in the woods in the winter is a little bit different. It can be quite the chilling experience, but like I said, you find yourself a nice little sapling, dig yourself a nice latrine, use that sapling to hang on to. Don't sit down in the snowbank. Cover it with a log. Be kind to the rest of the world. And happy camping, everybody. And we'll catch you in the next video. Oh, and by the way, from everybody at Camp Wilderness Thriving Fundamentals, we're glad you're watching. I've got such a runny nose. I'm sorry. We'll catch you later. Bye now.